Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at The Initiative.
A game designed by Cory Konieska, published by Unexpected Games.
And this is a co-op game and it plays from 1 to 4 players.
Yes, so this is a game we really didn't hear a lot about. And then I understood it was kind of like a code-breaking, deciphering game. And if there's something we do enjoy...
It's code-breaking.
And ciphers and stuff like that.
Yes. Puzzles,
yeah. We are huge escape room fans, both in board games and in real life. Huge puzzles fans, like we enjoy those kind of things, or brains like that. So I understood that this was kind of a family game, but I heard good things, and if it was enjoyable, I didn't mind it being a family game. But it is absolutely a family game, so you know that. But we played it as a couple. We played it just the two of us, so we know we are kind of a family, but we didn't play it as a family. There was no children, no
kids involved.
No other people involved. So the Initiative is basically a meta game. Think of Jumanji, just a bit nicer, and there's no rhinos coming to kill you. So basically you are playing 4 kids that buy a board game at a yard sale, and then you play that board game. So you are basically playing the kids playing the game in the game. So it's a meta game. So you get 2 rule books. This is basically another rule book. It's just a very short rule book telling you how the game works. And then the rest is a comic book, which I'm not going to show you because that's the story of the meta game in the game. And then you have the actual game, which is called the Key. And here you have the rules for the Key, which is really, really simple and straightforward. So what you're doing in this game is that you're going to be we can't really show you a lot because there's a lot of spoilers and stuff going on. This is one of those reviews. So in this game, you are moving around on a map. You're trying to flip over different information, and you want to find that information so that you can solve different ciphers. Because each mission is going to have a cipher that looks kind of like this. So on this, there's different symbols, and when you find that symbol and you pick it up on the map, you can then flip over that and get a letter or a number or anything under it. And the goal for each mission is the same. It's to find out what is here. You can end the mission whenever you want, and you say, I'm guessing that the code is do. And you take off the card and you see if you were correct. If you're wrong, even by 1 letter or 1 number, you will lose. And that is what you're going to do. And you're going to do that 14 times in the campaign, which is not like a spoiler because it says so on the campaign log on the back side here. And the gameplay is really basic. You are moving around and you're picking these things up. And the game is going to change up, of course, throughout the game, but the core game is the same. You have a hand of cards, and you're going to play those at different actions. And you have to play them in ascending numbers, but you cannot say oh, I have the 4, or I have the 5. But you can say that, I have really low cards or I have really high cards. So you're trying to play that, and then there's an action that can reset, but that action can never be reset. So if you put a really high card on that, you're going to have a problem. That's basically what you're going to do in the game. So let's talk a bit about the artwork and the components before we jump into the gameplay.
I think it's really nice artwork in this game, both on the map, on the board, in the key game that the story these kids find in the art sale.
Yeah.
That is pretty basic. I think the artwork shines in the small comics that you read, and those look really cozy. The components are a nice quality to it.
Yeah.
I have nothing to complain about, basically.
No, not much to say. I really like the art style. You can see kind of the 2 art styles here on the side of the box. You see one of the persons, and then there's one character from the key game. So they're different. You see they're very different, really different artwork from the real life in the game and to the actual in-game. It's kind of weird to talk about this meta game. So the game is really quick to play. We spend from 10 to 40 minutes. It really depends on how quick you are understanding this. Sometimes we only need a couple of letters, sometimes, it has to be this. It really depends on how good you are at solving ciphers. And we are super good at that. So
we thought maybe that we would find this very easy because we're adults. We're not kids or youngsters. I don't know what it's called these days. But we had a disadvantage because we're not English, what do you call it? Our mother tongue is...
we're not native English speakers.
Yes, so we're from Norway. So
if you didn't know, we're not from England or the USA.
So
or Canada.
we kind of had sometimes we were wondering, okay, would this be simpler to us if we were English? But then we just had to find more of the symbols.
Yes, I would say that most of the time it was not a problem. But there's a couple of ones it was like harder, but most of the time I wouldn't say it was a problem. I would think that if you're playing it with kids, they should be really good in English.
Yeah.
Like because or else it's gonna be it's gonna be really really hard.
Yes.
So that is like if you've been playing with adults who know English well, it doesn't really matter. So the gameplay, which is important here, like is it good? Is it good for adults? Is it good for kids? So let's talk about the gameplay.
The gameplay is obviously pretty simple to get into because it's a family game. So on my turn, I do 2 actions, 1 or 2 I can choose. But then to do those actions, I have to play cards, as you said, and I cannot do an action if I don't have a higher card for that stack for that action. So if I want to move, I have to play a card to the move pile.
Yes.
And I think that is a nice way to not have like I will move now. I have to actually be able to play a card there.
Mechanism.
And I think also it's cool that you have an action for actually cleaning up the piles as well.
Yeah.
So I have to. There's a little more meatiness in the gameplay by doing it that way, and than just doing it the regular way. If that
there's no really regular
choosing an action
way.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's really cool that there's this metagame in here. I think that's kind of a nice way of doing it. So I like that different layer, which makes it like you have that story between the rounds. The story is fine. It's not like mind blowing, but I think kids will really enjoy it. And there are some. Without spoiling, there are some nice moments in the game which I think are really good, especially for kids. I was thinking like, oh, this is good. This is a moment like it's not like trying to like teach you something, but it's a good way of doing that anyways. And I enjoy that, and I think that makes it good. Like you have ciphers that you can solve between the rounds. Sometimes you have to solve them, sometimes you don't have to solve them. So playing the key game, which is like the board game in here, is only like half of the game. Then you read the story and you do the ciphers and the puzzles, and then you play the next mission. So it's really nice that way. I enjoy that quite a bit.
Yes, when you're playing, you can absolutely have I think this is a little bit prone to having maybe an alpha player, because you're moving around on a map and you can easily, like we said, you can go there and I can go there. But when you're not able to say exactly what cards you have on your hand, you take a little bit, like you hinder that possibility to having like plan out the round to detail, because I can say, I have a low number for walking, and then I had a little higher number than you thought, and then you come to the walking, and
I can do the walking and I can do the talking.
I think that it's nicely balanced. I think it's
I think it's a really good game. First of all, I think it's a really good game. And I think it is a really, like, we had a lot of fun. Like, we played, I think, 4 missions one day and then 10 missions the other day, just in a row, because it was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you enjoy this kind of ciphers and things, I think you will enjoy it with adults. And I think for kids, it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great, like, the story is fine and nice. The game is really easy, and it's really a fun way for them to get into puzzle solving. Like most kids love sometimes throughout their life that they want to be a detective. I wanted to be a detective when I was a kid, and I wanted to solve clues and all that. And you get to do that in this game. You get to do all of these things. You get to see strange ciphers and understand them. You get to learn different actual real life ciphers and how they work and solve them in the game. And that is really, really good. We knew most of them because we do geocaching and all of that. So if you are a geocacher, you will have an easier time playing this game. But I really enjoy that, and I think it's a great package of different things. Is it an amazing game? No, but I've just had a lot of fun playing it. Is there anything you want to add, or should we do some final thoughts?
Let's go final thoughts time. I agree. I had such a fun time. I just wanted to play this all day long. When we started, I would
Which we did.
kind of like in the zone of solving puzzles. And I think that the combination of a simple gameplay but also interesting gameplay, but also like the package around it is really nicely wrapped in this kind of interesting but also cozy kind of world of some kids just playing a board game and seeing what happens. I'm going to rate this an 8. I thought for this, like for what this is, I think it does it very, very good.
I highly recommend this game. Like especially if you have children, and especially if they're like wanting to get into being detectives and solving things, get this game like now. It's a very well produced game. It has some nice story moments, some nice things happening throughout the game. Just a very nice package. For me, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a very good game, but it's not obviously not one I'm going to play again, obviously, but you can. That's like a really important thing too.
Yeah, you can.
It's not done after the 14. There's loads more in the game, which is great. There's a campaign of 14 games, and there's lots more you can play as well. So I'm going to give it a 7. You're going to give it an 8.
Yeah.
A really good game, highly recommended, especially for families and people with children, or if you just want a cozy co-op game that has nice puzzle solving and code deciphering.
Yes.
And that's the end. If you are still here and you have not subscribed to our channel, you can do so now by clicking the subscribe button. That makes us happy like this. Hey! If you want to do something else that also makes us happy, you can go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and support us there. If you can't do that or don't want to do that, that's also fine. The content is going to be free forever. And that is the end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Senua.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.